Hello everyone, I'm home. Welcome back to my channel. Well, it's middle of harvest season and we were out driving the other day and a storm was rolling in over from Illinois where you can see the separation there in the sky. It's not raining here in Indiana, but it's raining over in Illinois. It was so beautiful. I had to pull over and take a picture for you guys. And as we were driving just a few short miles into Illinois, it got worse and worse. But we drove through the little town of Marshfield, Indiana. It's just a couple miles from where we live, and it's a little one-horse town. But believe it or not, at one time, Marshfield had a bank, a hotel, lots of stores, churches. Some friends of ours, my husband's friends, had a little store when he was little, and his uncle lived out there, so he would go out there a lot and visit that little store. And it's long gone now, but since I've been around, since about fourth grade, it's been like a body shop town and a alignment place. There was a guy who had an alignment place, and there was a guy who had a body shop, and they specialized in Corvettes, and their name was Hay, and I went to school with their daughter and was friends with their other daughter, and wonderful people. But I just went out there the other day, and as we were driving by, I told Kevin I'm going to jump out of the car and take some pictures. But the storm kept getting worse and worse, and it rolled in pretty fast. And there were tractors out in the middle of the field, and they just kept going because it wasn't raining real hard yet. So we drove on into Danville and went to Planet Fitness and do what we always do, enjoy the scenery, and he exercises. Well, I know I keep saying we've had the most beautiful days, but this is the most beautiful day yet. It's almost noon on Saturday, and it's only 68 degrees, and it's perfect out here. I'm enjoying my Saturday morning so much. I kind of went down a rabbit hole in there, taking pictures for you guys, and I'll be showing you those soon. But it is so peaceful and nice out here. I know you can hear the trucks going by, but I've got a lot of stuff to show you. I don't know if you guys even care about the things I show you, but I was watching Nanny and the Moose this morning, and she is so inspiring to me. And she was talking about how to make the most of every day and try to be as happy as you can be and do what makes you happy. And I was thinking as I was doing all the things I was doing that I'm happy as a lark this morning. I just enjoy doing what I'm going to be showing you soon. And that wouldn't please some people. They would be like, no, I want to go bowling, or I want to go mountain climbing, or I want to, go to a race, or whatever people do. And everybody has their thing that makes them happy. And for me, the semis are going up the highway. My cousins all drive semis. Well, some of them don't now, but they live in Illinois and we're in Indiana. And when they go up over the hill there, they always honk at me. And when my boys were little and outside playing ball or playing in the yard, they'd come to the door and they'd say, one of the shorter boys just honked, Mom. And I'd say, okay. And he said, we waved. But anyway, got off on a little tangent there. As I was doing these things this morning, I was happy. I just love to tinker with my house, my decor, my flowers, moving things around, my little dishes. Okay, on my little dishes. I've had that little table for like 30 years. I had it at my other house, and I've always had it sitting downstairs by a big cabinet by the fireplace, and I decorate it for Christmas and usually summer. But the other day when I showed it to you about a month ago, and I started decorating it with different plates that I had, I went down a rabbit hole. I'm not gonna lie, I've been on it real bad ever since then. And so I brought it upstairs, and it's in the living room now. I just now put it in the spare bedroom, but I fell in love with it again. I thought, why haven't I done this? And then I'm working on it and finding more things for it. And as I'm going through cabinets here at home, kind of cleaning and putting things away and organizing, which I have to do all the time because I have so many dishes, I found more, and I'm going to show them to you here in a little bit. I forgot I even had. And I have a big, I think it's called a gentleman's dresser downstairs. It was my grandpa's. It's got a big long mirror and a hat box. Well, I've always stored dishes in there, and I bring out my fall dishes and my spring ones, and my moss rose. I've got some pieces of that down there. And I was in there yesterday, and I said, oh my gosh, I forgot about these. And I brought out these tiny, tiny cordials and a little tiny kind of Victorian cup. It's a little glass. It's only 2.5 inches tall. It's got the most beautiful etching on it. I only have one, but it's beautiful. So I cleaned those up and brought them upstairs, and then I found a couple more little plates I forgot I had, and I thought, oh, I gotta do a tablescape of that. And then I thought, Marcy, what is wrong with you? You're an adult. Stop with the little kids table. But I truly believe that it's just fun for me. And I've collected these little antique dishes for years and years. I mean, I've had them 30, 40 years. When I was 18 years old, my mom and I used to drive to Rossville, Illinois, and she would just sit in the car. My mom had MS and she couldn't get around, especially in those old stores. They were kind of dangerous, and they had stairs and different things. So my mom would sit out in the car and just watch traffic, and she enjoyed it because she was raised in Rossville. Well, I would go in and trek through the whole store and maybe come out with one little tiny dish. And I'd say, look, Mom, I got a little antique child's dish. And I don't know why I liked them back then, but I did, and I still do. So I don't know. I'm just enjoying it so much, and I'm sharing it with you guys. And if you don't like that part, just skip past it, because we'll be going thrifting, or I'll be decorating something. But yeah, I was just listening to Nanny this morning, and she was talking about they're having some tough times right now with health, and she said, you know what, we just deal with it and accept it and do the best we can every day and try to put as much joy into the day as we can. And she's showing her husband eating breakfast, and he starts singing a little song, and it was so precious. And I thought, that's what we have to do, because we all have our ups and downs. And even though I'm playing with little kids' dishes in little cupboards, and oh, I've got another little cupboard to show you, even though I'm doing that and it might seem silly, it's what I enjoy. And I had an aunt and uncle that all they liked to do was go to dances at like the Masonic halls and Eastern Star things, and every weekend they'd be going off. My aunt would buy these long gowns, and my uncle had a tuxedo, and they would bring their kids over here to either stay with us or my other aunt, and they would go away for the weekend, and they would go to these big dances, and I don't know what they were, functions, and that's what they loved. And then my uncle started collecting glass baskets, and that was a passion of theirs, but that's what they loved to do with their life. And when they got to the end of their life, I thought, they did what they enjoyed. You know, they filled their life with what they enjoyed. And I have a friend who likes to ride a bicycle, and he rides all over the country, just rides a bicycle. And I don't think he competes or anything. He'll just go to different areas and meet up with people that do that, and they ride bikes. And he's been everywhere. Now, I couldn't ride a bike probably down our little road here anymore. I don't know if I could. I have one out in the garage, or in the barn, but I don't know if I could still do that. I like to ride bikes, but I wouldn't want to ride out to California or Seattle. But he does, and he's enjoying his life. He loves every moment of it. So yeah, I play with little kids' dishes from the old days, but I love it. And I love all the things I do. I do so many things. But lately I've been on a kick with this child's dishes thing, and I've got to stop because we've got to downsize, guys. I know I manifest in a mansion, but I've got to, in reality, I have to downsize. So I don't know what I'm going to do. Maybe just have one room full of children's dishes. I don't know. But anyway, I totally enjoyed my morning, and I came out here to water my mum, and I'll show you it in a minute. It bloomed out beautiful. And I think I'm going to go to town here. He wants to go to Planet Fitness, and I think I'm going to stop at Danville Gardens and show you guys what they've got going on, because they'll be closed soon. Once they're out of flowers, they close up for the winter. And I'm going to buy a mum for my patio table out back. And that's all the mums I'm going to buy. Every year I buy probably 10 mums and put them all over my porch and everything. And then I plant them. And this year they're coming up. I've got 3 or 4 that made it. And that's all the mums I'm going to have because they dry out so quick. And they're just, they're beautiful. But I'm not real good at keeping them going. And then they're kind of a waste if they don't come back the next year. So I'm not going to do the big mum thing, but I've got this one on my porch, and I'm going to do one on the back patio table because it's like a pub style table. It's taller and it's got 2 bar stools at it. I didn't put all my chairs out this year because it's usually just Kevin and I out there, or me. So I didn't put all the chairs out this year, so I only have 2 to put away. But I can see it right outside my kitchen window. So one mum would look pretty and a pumpkin on that table. But I'm just not going to go crazy with the flowers this year. Guys, after I made that video for you, I'd been sitting here all morning making the video and looking around, and I didn't notice this as I was unplugging my camera. Look at this beautiful little cut crystal candy dish, maybe? I don't know really what it is, on a little wrought iron stand that someone has left on my porch. One of my friends has been out thrifting or rummage selling, and they found that, and they brought it to me. Now, the little wrought iron stand is mine. It was sitting out here and had a candle on it, but somebody put that little dish on it. And I'll have to put it on Facebook or ask my friends, hey, who left that little candy dish on my porch? But they thought of me when they saw that. And I don't think I have that one, believe it or not. It's really pretty. And it's real sharp all the way around the edge, so I know it's cut glass. I just love it. But that's the thing. Many, many times we've come home and had an old chair sitting on the porch or some old boards or an old desk. People just, a box. One day I came home and there was a box on the porch, and Kevin said, somebody left you something. And I looked, and it was full of old linens and real pretty crocheted things, and somebody had found it at a yard sale and brought it to me. I'm so blessed, I tell you what. I enjoy my life so much. And it's just simple stuff, but that's, to me, what it's all about. But anyway, if any of you that are local are watching this and you left it here, please tell me, because sometimes I never find out who leaves this stuff. One day I went past the window and I saw a vehicle pulling out of our driveway really fast. And I said, gosh, who's that? And the next day I came out on the porch, and there's this gigantic basket, and it was a beautiful antique looking basket, and I still have it. It was full of apples from an apple orchard. I have not to this day figured out who gave me that basket of apples. That was like 3 or 4 years ago, and I don't know who did it. But this little dish is beautiful, and I thank whoever brought it, and I may never find out who brought it, but I love it. So, again, enjoy the rest of the video. Well, we've been having such cool, cozy mornings that I've been getting in my pretty dishes and using them for breakfast. And the other morning I made some French toast. Kevin loves French toast. And I put walnuts and powdered sugar on it. And I used one of my blue transferware plates, which I think those look pretty with any kind of food on them. I guess I just try to enjoy the decor of these dishes, the patterns and stuff, and really use them and enjoy them. Now, this was the platter or the plate that I chose for my breakfast out of my stack, and it's wild strawberries, and it has some gooseberries, and I was washing it to use it. I don't think I've ever eaten off this plate before. It's probably just a decorative plate, but I ate off of it. I turned it over to wash it, and it still had the price on it from the thrift store. And it has cherries, and it's just beautiful. And I just looked it over and really took in the pattern of many, many years ago. Someone had that hanging on their wall probably. So I put my French toast on it. Now I have to use the sugar-free syrup, which isn't near as good. And here's some pancakes I made the other day, and I use this plate. Kevin, he gets a little more than me, and he used his separated plate, which he loves that plate. So I took this plate and moved it down a little bit on the shelf, and I went ahead and put that strawberry plate back behind those flowers so that I can enjoy it a little longer. I just like to take it in and absorb these beautiful patterns from days of old. They don't make dishes like that anymore. So I'm at Goodwill the other day, and I did buy these 3 plates. They're Washington, D.C. collectible plates. I looked them up. They've got 22 karat gold around the edge. There's the Capitol, the White House, and Abraham Lincoln's cabin. I think they're just beautiful, and someday I'll be thrifting, and now that I've seen these, I'll find one with George Washington on it or another, maybe the monument or something. But what I got to thinking was, someday with grandchildren, or even now with my nieces and nephews, you could set a little child's table like on President's Day and teach them something about history. So I just thought these precious little plates were darling, and I was so tickled to get them, and I'll find another one. But I thought that's what my train of thought when I'm seeing these things, the future and future grandkids, or even my great nieces and nephews. I just love it. So they got added to my stack. Then I was thrifting the other day, and I showed you that Barbicide bottle, and I kept calling it Barbasol. It's Barbicide. And I was at that rummage sale, that everything that you could get in a garbage bag for $1, and we didn't get that much. But I found this little glass straw holder, which is basically like the Barbicide jar. It's just a little smaller, and you can put smaller combs and tweezers or anything like that in it. So I picked it up because it was basically free. We gave them a donation, but it's glass, and those are nice, even though it's a straw holder. And then I was looking at the Goodwill, and I saw this cute little crock bowl, which I love crock bowls, and this one was newer, of course, and it's purple. But I have a friend who collects purple things, and she would have loved it, but it had a big chip in it, so I didn't get it. But I'd never seen a purple crock bowl before. And I saw this pretty watercolor done with pears, but it was dirty. It had spots all over it that would not have come out. Then I saw these 3 Victorian lady plates from Bavaria, they said on the back, and they were beautiful. And they were small, so they would have been perfect for my child's table. But I passed on them simply because I have to distinctly decide what to buy when I'm looking at plates, and I passed on them. I saw this little picture. It's actually probably a creamer size, and I really looked it over because I have this in a great big picture. But you know what, guys? I can't find it. I've been looking for it the last 2 falls, and I don't know if I broke it or if I put it outside and it got ruined or if I gave it to someone. It's gone. But that was pretty. Then I found another Nancy Noel print of the twins for $1.99 at Goodwill, I believe. Yeah, Goodwill. And I bought it because I have the big one. I bought from her, and she signed. It's the poster size. Gave a lot for it. And then I have a small one like this that I found one day. For the boys, I wanted them to both have one. Now I've got 3. And honestly, I don't think either one of them will ever care to have that in their home. But they might surprise me. Then I found this little crock bowl. It's 7 inches tall, and it was only 99 cents. It's not old. It's by Gibson, which is a newer company. But I loved it, and I thought it looked old and antique and little and would be pretty in my child's cabinet. So I go to put it in my child's cabinet, and I already had this on the top shelf where I wanted to put it, and I wanted to keep that there. So I thought, well, I could just put the bowl in the candle ring and then put the pumpkin in the bowl and leave the bowl out. So that's what I did. When I'm in the store and I saw that little bowl, my first thought was it would look so pretty sitting in front of my Bardstown dishes, is what I call those plates, and I love how it looks. Then I'm in the Trinity Mission the other day, and they had these darling little 3-inch punch cups, and they're really, really old. And they said 2 for $1, but they only had 3. So when I went to pay for them, I figured it'd be $1.50, and the lady said, "How about 3 for $1?" And they are so precious, and they'll look cute on the little kids' table. And someday I might find another one, but I've never really seen these. They're real short and squat, and they're so cute. Now, I've always looked at these when I'm in antique stores and thrift stores, but they're always high, and they're usually not in very good shape. I found this for 99 cents. It's not a pitcher. It's more like a cup. It doesn't have a spout. But it was 99 cents, and it was a little scratched up, and it's in good condition for if it's old. I don't know if it's old. It might be a reproduction. But I've never had one. So for 99 cents, I bought it, and I thought I'd put it in my little cabinet. And then I found this bowl. And normally I would say, I always say bowls are hard to decorate with, they're hard to display. But it has my grapes and all my pretty florals, and I loved it. And it was only 99 cents, and it was in perfect condition. So, yeah, I bought it. And then Dollar Tree lately, now they've changed to $1.50 tree, they're no longer a dollar. They have the prettiest pumpkins this year. These, I would say, are just as good or better than Hobby Lobby. I've never seen this pretty of a pumpkin at Hobby Lobby, especially for that price. They're just precious. They have a darker color with a few little brown spots on them. So I picked up a couple of those. Now the stems are gold, which I don't care for, and I did paint them. And then they had these copper colored, or I guess copper, velvet pumpkins this year that were just beautiful. And they also had them in green, burgundy, cream. Oh, they're pretty. And a real bright orange, but I like these copper colored ones. And then last year I had so many pumpkins that I took all the stems off of them and kept them in a basket in the kitchen. And this is one of my pumpkins from last year, and it's still going strong. I put car wax on my pumpkins last year, and it really preserved most of them. So I'm just leaving it out. It's been in my kitchen all year. I think you've seen it many times. But if it ever falls apart, I'll save that stem. So now we're going to paint some pumpkins from the Dollar Tree, or the $1.50 tree. You know what? I went there the other day and everything's $1.50 now, but their floral stems are $1.75, which I think's a little much because they're kind of flimsy. But they have these, and they've had them for years, these styrofoam pumpkins for a dollar. Well, now they're $1.50, and they're pretty garish. But I've been seeing where they paint them, so I decided to make some primitive looking ones since I had all those stems, for my baskets and my bowls. So I took some cream colored paint, a little gold, a little brown, some baking soda, and sprinkled on them. I thought this stem was pretty from last year's pumpkin, so I glued it to one of them. Then I had a shorter stem I glued to one. I thought they turned out really pretty. They actually look real. And I just kind of started setting them around. Now I sprinkled the baking soda on after the first layer of paint, and then I went over them with another layer of paint. And I used, like I said, cream gold, not sparkly gold, but just the gold colored paint. And then a little bit of brown and some stain, and just until they got antique to the way I like them. And I started putting them around in different bowls. And then this is after I painted the stems brown. But I tucked them in here and there and everywhere. And a lot of times I will just take candlesticks, because I have so many candlesticks that I don't use for candles all the time. I just set a pumpkin on top of them. And I'll use a little bit of double-sided tape so they don't fall off, because they don't weigh very much. And then I even set one of my pears from Hobby Lobby on one, just to show you what you can do. Now that little candle box I made, it's been decorated the same all since I made it. I put a Santa on it at Christmas time, but I put one of Rosie's little rooster dishes on there for a long time. And the other day I decided to put some fall stuff on it. So I had a little baby gourd, and then I put one of my Flow Blue bowls in there, and then just added some fall florals at the top with some little berries. And I like the way it turned out. And that's the top shelf of the little candle box. And then on the bottom shelf of the candle box, it's got little books in it. I mean, these little books are only 5 or 6 inches tall. And there's a sugar shaker in there. And one of my little tags I make with the pears. And it looks kind of gaudy when you're looking up close, but when you pan back across the room, it's not near as much. Although my one friend says it's way too much. What do you want all this stuff around your house for? And she's very much against it. But I like all the little touches of fall and gold and muted colors, and it's all right with me. And then there's my crock. I did move my child's cabinet to another room. Now, I was up in my dishes doing all these little things, and I found these little plates and a little Halloween book that I probably made last year for my dollhouse. And I'll tuck them in little bowls or cups when I first make them, so that I can glaze them later or whatever I need to do to them. So I got these out, and I took my nail polish, the clear from Dollar Tree. Now, the Dollar Tree clear nail polish does not yellow like some of the more expensive brands. And I had made a little plate with pears on it that's a picture of one of my plates and a little Halloween book. So I glazed them, and once they dry, I'll put them in one of my doll houses, and we're going to do that later. And then remember my little 25-cent napkin holder I found at a yard sale? It said Merry Christmas, and it was pretty, but I took an old napkin that I found in a drawer that has, I think those are gooseberries. I first thought they were cherries, but the more I look at them, I think they're gooseberries. But I took the napkin apart, just one ply, and I sprayed some adhesive in the bottom of it and then put that napkin down, smoothed it out, and then I put some clear matte finish over that. And it turned out real pretty. And I can use it all year. And these are the little cordials I was telling you about in the little Victorian cup that I found downstairs. That little cup is only 2.5 inches tall, and it is so fragile, but it's so old. It's definitely really old, probably from Victorian times. Found it in the cabinet downstairs and forgot. I used to have them on my child's table when it was downstairs. And here's the cordial glasses before I cleaned them up. They get so dirty down in the basement and get dusty. And then I hope you can see the pattern on that little cup. It's just so cute. And then I found this crate at a yard sale the other day for $1. And crates are expensive, even these little small ones. And I bought it to do a miniature project. But until I do that, I set it on my counter and I had to decorate it. So I just toyed around with different things, and I'll probably just take it in my room and start using it for the miniature project. I found this sugar shaker at Goodwill the other day for 99 cents. I can't tell you how many of those I have. I actually use them, but I have some just on display sitting around. I guess they could be salt and peppers, but they're really tall and big. But I find them a lot for $1 because I'll just find a random one. And I have several, but they're all really pretty and I like them. I think I'm going to put garlic salt in that one and use it. But I just decorated that little crate up all kinds of different ways and had fun. I was moving things around, and I think I'll leave it there until I'm ready to do the miniature project in it. And I'm hoping to do that maybe tonight, work on it, because I've got a great idea of what I want to do. So I set one of my little pears up there in the foliage. Is it foliage or foliage? And then I've got this red tablecloth on my table right now, and I like it, but I'm going to change it to a different color for fall. I have a gold one, a tan one, a brown one. I think I have a couple of orange ones, but this is the table scarf that I did have on it. It was just a plaid curtain topper, but I moved it over to my little dresser, and then I put this wooden bowl on the table with these things and took the tablecloth completely off, and I think I'm going to leave it that way. I like it with just the wood on the table showing and no scarf or anything, so I think that's how I'm going to leave it. I think I added a little orange pumpkin to it after I took this picture. But my flowers are doing really good. This is the vinca vine I got from Brad's house. It's still going strong. I have a couple geraniums hanging on because the frost hasn't gotten them yet. My mum bloomed out, and it's still got a few more blooms to go, and it's really pretty. And then I found some morning glories just coming up in my driveway next to our drive. And then this is dark in our garage at night, but we came home from Goodwill last night, and I took this picture. I popped into Goodwill by my son's last night, and I got this little child's cabinet for $5.99, and it's pretty garish. It's pink and turquoise, and it says Heavenly on the front, and it's got crayon marks and everything. But you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to make another little cupboard for my children's dishes, and I'll be showing you that in the next video. I want to thank you so much. You guys have been growing my channel for me. I'm so happy with that, and it doesn't cost anything to subscribe, so if you're watching this, please subscribe. You need a lot of subscribers to stay on YouTube, or you just have to stop. And I'm going to have to stop someday if I don't get a lot, because it's a lot of work. But it doesn't cost anything, so hit that subscribe button, and I love you guys from the bottom of my heart.